So about a couple of weeks ago, I did a poll and I asked which metal and makeup, or about the band, I should say, since I changed the name, which band you'll like to see too, and I put down either Sabaton or another Misfit makeup look. Well, Sabaton won by like a good milestone. I was in shock. I really thought people were gonna want the Misfits, especially because of the album cover I had chose for it. But no, a lot of you guys wanted me to match my shirts. So I was like, okay, cool, we'll do this. So just real quick, I just wanted to get into the eyeshadow palette I used. I used the Melt Gemini palette. This came out like a year ago. This is a pricey palette, and with everything going on, you know, like people need to save their money and everything, I am not telling you guys in any of my videos to go purchase these products unless you really have the money and money's not an issue for you, then go ahead. But this was like almost a $60 palette, and if you want dupes for these, like dupes, in case you guys don't know what that means, it just means duplicates. We just use that for short in the beauty world. Elf Cosmetics came out with those little tiny little quad eyeshadows, and they have some of these colors, like almost all these colors actually, I should say, and they're cheap. You know how Elf products is cheap, and it's pretty decent quality too. So if anything, get those, because I guarantee you, even if you were to buy, I think they came out with like 5 of them, it's still not even going to cost you not even $40. So it's so much more cheaper, and you're probably only going to need like 2 of them anyways, so that's like under $10 plus coupons if you have coupons from CVS or Walgreens. So yeah, I in no way, shape, or form ever tell you guys, you know, to go purchase this or purchase that, because I know I like to use a lot of high-end makeup. I do like to use luxury makeup, and I like to use a lot of pro makeup. I actually don't have that much drugstore, to my surprise, unless it was from when I went to Boots in the UK, but you know, they have good shit, what can I say? Okay, so anyways, I talk too much. Let's go ahead and get into the band. So going in with the Lancome Prime and Boosted, then I'm going to add a little bit of concealer by Kimchi. That one's a pretty affordable one. It's like $14. A little goes a long way. Then we're going to bust in with the Gemini palette, and then we're going to go in with the really yellowy tone one called Mochi right there. So there we go. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into Sabaton. Really, there's not much to say about this band. It's very straightforward. I think it's stuff that we all know. There's not really any like tea that I could give you guys, you know, like obviously there was a whole story with Cannibal Corpse, and yeah, there's a whole story with Megadeth and all of them. It's like there is not enough information for me to give you, so I do apologize. But they did obviously form in Sweden, and they formed in 1999. Not a lot of people know that. A lot of people think of them as more as like a 2009 band or something like that, but I think that's more here in the States, because obviously they boomed more in Europe. So if you were to ask Europeans, they've seen them many times, like at the smaller venues, compared to us, where we're seeing them more at the bigger venues. My personal experience is I actually saw them open for Nightwish, and I believe it was 2017, I'm going to say. So they formed there, and then they recorded their first album, I should say, or first demo, In the Abyss with Peter... I cannot say the name, but I'm going to leave it right there. So Sabaton was able to record at the Abyss, and then after that they got recognition from a few labels, and they decided to go for the Italian record label called Underground Symphony, and that's where they work more on their demo called Fist for Fist, which this is where it gets kind of confusing, because Fist for Fist becomes Metalizer, their 2002 album, but there was a wait on that one, and it supposedly wasn't released with Symphony Underground. So then eventually it got released on Nuclear Blast, and then eventually they added even like extras, and it was re-recorded. So there was some information that was kind of all over the place right there, so I'm sorry if I don't get that exactly down. And I know I'm not really concentrating on the makeup that much, but just to let you know, there's a lot of blending and packing on that I do in this tutorial. So I kind of feel like with the Gemini palette, you have to like, this is my first melt palette, so I am experienced this. I've only used it maybe like a couple times. It's pigmented, but you really gotta blend. Like you see that black one right there, it got really patchy. Like you really gotta pack it on
and then blend real quick. It's almost like a dried up waterproof eyeliner. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's not my favorite. It's like good, but it's not my favorite. I wouldn't repurchase this again just because I did have some issues blending with this one. So after watching the movie Saving Private Ryan, Primo Victoria came about. This is where the band finally decided that they're just gonna talk about history and wars. And the lead singer, I believe, is pronounced Joachim. I hope I'm saying that right. But he has said in no way, shape, or form is he glorifying wars. Like, a lot of people think that they're glorifying war, that they want people to go to war. It's more just dedicated to the heroes and the troops that were forced to go to war, and you know, that they put their lives on the line, and making sure that, you know, history doesn't repeat itself.
Okay, so I'm using this Kajal Ink Artist by Shiseido, so I'm just using this as like a bottom liner right here. You could go in the bottom line, you could go with like black, you could even go in with gold, any kind of brown, you know, something that goes with this look. So it's just really up to you, and I don't know what affordable brand might replace this. To tell you the truth, if you can find one, can you let me know? Because the packaging on this sucks. So if you know a good cheap alternative to this, please let me know. So I'm just gonna go in the bottom line right here. Ooh, that is pretty though. Also, I forgot to tell you, on the lash line, I went in with a little bit of that black color called Bonnie, and I just kind of like, you know, took an angle brush and just like pushed it in the lash line, and that's it, to give it dimension. And then I went in with the Ardell lashes. They're the Ardell Wispy, so yeah, no need for like expensive stuff for this. And then for mascara, just use any mascara that you prefer. Really, mascara is just like a personal preference. Unfortunately with me, I like nothing but high-end, because that's all that works with me. I have not found a drugstore that I like when it comes to mascara. For primer, face primer, I'm using the CoverGirl one. This is pretty decent. I like this one so far, but this is the hydrating one, because let's just say your queen has been dwelling in adult beverages, and her skin is not as dewy right now as it usually would be. So I'm just going in with a darker concealer color. It's like a shade darker than my skin color. Going in just on the little problems I have right there. This is an Urban Decay one from their Naked Skin line. I don't like it anyways that much, so I wouldn't recommend you to buy it. I mean, it's okay, but there are drugstore ones that are better than that, like the CoverGirl one. For foundation, I'm going to use the Max Factor, Face Finity All Day Flawless. So this one, I know we don't sell here in the States. It is the same one as the Maybelline.
But the band has said in no way, shape, or form they are glorifying war. Some people have accused them of that. They are just paying more tribute to history, and unfortunately history has a lot of wars, and they are also paying tribute to the soldiers and the heroes that have gone out and fight for their countries. So obviously all their albums have been on different type of wars. They haven't exactly touched on US history, because first of all, a lot of wars the US is involved, but like the Civil War, they have said that Ice Earth has already made an album on that, so they're not sure if they want to like go ahead and make their version of it.
As for blush, we're going to go in with like one of the Milani ones, because that's the only drugstore one I have. So I'm going to go in more for this Coral one right here. I think it's called Coraline, I'm not sure. I'll just have it. Because once I powder my face, right now the color might look intense, but once I powder it, it's going to cancel it out a little bit. So
then when the album of The Art of War came about, they start touring with a lot of bigger, well-known power metal bands like Dragon Force, Ed Guy, Hammerfall. And around also after that time, there was a lot of lineup changes. Like, I believe it's only Joachim and Par. I believe I'm pronouncing it. It's almost like Paul, but you're just saying Pa. Like silent with the R almost. And then you can hear the L. Okay, no, never mind. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, so they're primarily the main two the main two of the original lineup of Sabaton. So apparently a lot of the original members just did not like the travel that is involved when it comes to being part of a band, which is... In 2019, Sabaton made a separate YouTube channel and is basically called Sabaton History. So it not only goes behind on each song that they wrote, but it gives you obviously historical facts that a lot has been buried, you know what I mean? There's a lot of history out there that's been ghosted, nobody knows about, so they bring it up. And I do like how one time when I saw, actually this was just last year, when I saw them, how in the beginning of each show, and depending in the country, they give tribute to a certain, like, let's say the soldiers, right? Like, a lot of people don't remember the doughboys from World War I, so they pay tribute to them. So, and I find that great, that because there's so much stuff that just goes under the radar, nobody knows anymore, like even like the Turkish genocide, I believe, and the Armenian genocide, nobody remembers those anymore. So I love the fact that they bring it out about, and it's like, hey, we gotta remember this so we don't fuck up again. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, if you guys, any historians out there, you really need to check out their channel, and I'll leave the link down below. And the video is almost coming into an end, people, so I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and hopefully this was somewhat informative about the band in case you didn't know anything. I know this was just like really straightforward stuff, although I didn't know about the Saving Private Ryan part. But anyways, yes, I'm just going in with Anastasia. I believe that color's called Honey, and I went in before with Mac Spice. I'll leave all the stuff down below so you guys can know, or ladies, or I don't judge. Sabaton is part of like my top 5 favorite bands, and here's just me modeling the makeup and, you know, the shirt, yay. So I don't really like doing these.
Anyways, thanks so much you guys for watching. Make sure to take care of your vaginas and have a bonerific day.